This show is only possible because of the support of listeners like you. To find out how to get early episodes, bonus content, and keep the show going, head to patreon.com/wehaveconcerns. You gotta have clothing for every situation.
You gotta have at least some shirts that don't have a TARDIS on them.
Sure. I would say 5 to 7% of your shirts should not have the TARDIS on them. If you want to be a functioning adult.
There's a new...
Just 5 to 7.
A new clothing line called No TARDIS Here.
Called mostly not TARDIS. This is We Have Concerns. Hi, Jeff Canada.
Hi, Anthony Carboni.
Do you trust your memories?
God, I used to, and then we started doing this show, and now I don't.
I never really have. I never really have. I think when the first time I noticed inconsistency between memory was maybe I was like 7 years old.
Or who knows?
And or it could have been last week.
Yeah.
For all we know about our memory. But I remember getting into an argument with friends of mine about a thing that had happened 2 or 3 days beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
And we were telling the stories differently.
Mm-hmm.
And I got so angry because I was sure that this person was lying.
Right.
Sure that this person was lying. And then after a couple more kids kind of chimed in, I realized that I was lying. And I didn't think I was lying. And that's when I realized you can remember things wrong.
Yeah. Anthony Carboni, the inadvertent liar.
And so ever since then, I've been sort of fascinated with this stuff. And there have been a ton of studies that they got really big in the late 70s, early 80s, where false memory implantation, right, where you can make people remember things that didn't happen.
Yeah.
One of the most famous studies was one that was done in the 80s where they implanted the false memory of children being trapped in a shopping mall, or not trapped lost in a shopping mall.
Yeah.
You remember that time you got lost in a shopping mall when you were a kid?
No, I don't remember that at all.
And then like over a period of a couple weeks, they would keep asking questions, and it's like, oh, but you remember that time where you got lost in the shopping mall?
Right.
Yeah, that was crazy, right?
Right.
And then
that's terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's when people talk about like little kids on trial in custody cases and stuff, and it's like, don't you remember when daddy did that or when mommy did that? And you don't know if the kid is just trying to placate the authority figure or if they're actually remembering something.
If over time
awful.
They're being sort of redirected towards remembering things in a way that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And that's why eyewitness accounts are not always admissible or good to use in a trial. So there's a lot of malleability to human memory. And this latest story, this was sent to us by Joanna from Germany.
Yay!
Who sends in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You did it, Joanna.
She's on the show.
You made it happen. Where researchers were able to implant memory of committing a crime or breaking a law into people.
It's terrifying how easy it is to make you think you did something wrong.
Yeah. And this is the thing. I hear about these studies where, oh, you remember that time you were a kid and you got lost in a mall? You know, there are enough memories of my childhood that are kind of fuzzy where if you kept saying that to me, it was so long ago, sure, I may conflate them all into being lost in a mall. Right. That to me is kind of understandable. But if you tell me, remember that time you committed a crime? You would think that your brain would defend you against that much of a false memory going in. No.
It's super easy to convince you that you did something. And it's not like they're like, yeah, you did something minor. They convinced people that they did pretty terrible things.
They were able to get 70% of participants in this study to believe that they had committed theft, assault, or assault with a weapon.
Do you remember when you took that crowbar and you beat up that hobo?
I've never held a crowbar in my life.
No, that crowbar from your car. Remember your car? Remember when you drove that Toyota Prius?
No, I don't. I've never had a Toyota Prius.
But you used to have one, and it had a crowbar in the trunk.
No, wait.
Remember the Toyota Prius that you kept telling me about all the gas mileage you were saving?
Oh, my hobo beaten car.
Yeah, you beat up all those hobos.
Oh, with the crowbar.
Yeah, remember?
Yeah.
God, you're an awful person.
I'm a terrible human being.
There's a lot of hobo blood on your hands.
Yeah, it's that easy.
It's so terrifying that our brains are so malleable and suggestible and stupid.
They basically just do a couple interviews with people where they tell them stories and leave out sort of details. What they do is they take the human brain's tendency to fill in holes in stories. We don't like there to be a hole in our narrative.
No.
And so
we don't mind there being holes in hobos. But
no, but in narratives.
No, can't have that.
But no, if it's something where you only half remember something, but you really need to remember it, your brain will just fill in holes. And it'll take things from other memories, it'll take things from other places, it'll just fill in things whole cloth just to make sure that you have that memory that you need. And that's why, over time you'll be telling a story of a vacation that you took when you were a kid, and your parents will be like, you're actually taking two different vacations and putting them together.
Yeah.
We did stay in that house, but that house was not in, North Carolina. That house was in
Remember when we went surfing
California.
at the Eiffel Tower? That was fantastic.
Jeff.
I surfed the Eiffel Tower so hard.
I think what you're doing is you're taking
What am I doing?
surf ninjas and an American Werewolf in Paris.
Yeah.
And putting them together.
That's right. I did turn into that werewolf ninja.
So by getting people not to...
By the way, werewolf ninjas, why haven't we made that
Why aren't we
happen?
on this?
Let's do that.
Why are we not on this?
God damn, only thing that can kill them is the silver shuriken.
Write that down. That silver idea is gold. Oh,
that's your dad joke.
Oh,
you are
no.
so on my side now. I love it. You did it, man.
Oh.
I don't even need to do them anymore.
You remember when you told that dad joke about silver being gold?
Wait a minute. I thought that was you that
No,
told
no,
that.
no, because I don't tell dad jokes.
That is true. You don't
I hate dad jokes.
You don't. That's right.
That's kind of your
I'm
thing.
the guy that tells
You did
dad
that and you were
jokes.
real proud of it, even though it was kind of a shitty one, even for you.
That was an awful... Why would I even say that?
Yeah, because it was a really terrible one.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's your one, though.
Okay.
You can't
I won't
do
say
another
any
one.
more this episode.
But what they'll do is during the interview, they will just they don't go, remember when you committed that crime? They'll just kind of leave something out that leads you to believe that, like, oh, maybe at one time you were in this place where a crime happened.
Wow.
And so that's easy. And then the next interview, they kind of tell this thing where, like, oh, maybe you did own a gun.
So you're doing all the work.
You do the work for them.
That's
The secret is not to directly implant a memory into someone. The secret is to leave holes in a memory in such a way that people will fill it in themselves.
Oh my God.
So it's not even like, you committed this crime. By the fourth interview, people are like, I can't believe I did it.
It's like,
I can't believe
I
I
can't
did
let them
it.
know. I can't let them know. They don't know I did it, but I totally did do it. Wow.
Because we're idiots.
We're such
We're
idiots.
so dumb. And it's all part of our survival stuff. This is all, we can't be unsure of things.
Right. Yeah. And we are narrative-based creatures. There's story is at the center of our universe, and we can't abide incomplete stories, so we literally will put ourselves in awful positions in order to just complete the circle. All we have to do is make sure there are no holes in this story, and we'll do it to our own detriment.
And this is the thing. It's not like these are not two different processes, right? Like implanting a memory of some major wrongdoing in somebody is no different than implanting the mall memory. When they looked at these people's brains, it was the exact same process. It's just as easy.
And that's why when people use the term brainwashing, it sounds like such a device. It sounds like such a sort of out there concept of like, oh, they brainwashed him. They held a watch in front of his face and tilted it back and forth.
Yeah.
And they would, do. No, brainwashing isn't hard. And it's something that you will participate in. Brainwashing makes it sound foreign and weird and strange and otherworldly, but it's remarkably easy because we're so suggestible.
Yeah. Yeah, because we want to find those patterns and we want to stick inside of patterns. It's kind of the same process that leads you to, I don't know, like if you grow up in a house with a certain set of beliefs or your parents tell you a certain thing about yourself over
Right.
and over, you
Yeah.
just grow up believing it
Yeah.
because that's just the truth that you're being
Status
told.
quo.
Yeah. And it's just easier for your brain to do that because the more your brain thinks in a certain way, the more those connections are strengthened and the harder it is to think anything outside of it.
Yeah.
And so it just becomes a pattern. And so by just taking advantage of those natural patterns, people can just make you believe whatever you want.
So what are the consequences of this knowledge that we have?
Well, this is something that like I worry about. Once they're done with these studies and somebody truly believes, truly remembers themselves as
Yeah.
somebody who shot someone with a gun, how do you just tell them, nah, man, JK? Can they just... Yes?
Oh, hi, Howard. You remember me, Dr. Fredrickson?
Oh, hey, Dr. Fredrickson. Yeah, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. How have you been this last couple of weeks?
I've been real depressed, actually. I'm just trying to come to terms with all that stuff that I just remembered.
Right. Well, I've been meaning to come by. We scheduled to come by last Thursday, and things got really hectic at the office, and I couldn't get by here. But I'm finally here now, and I just want to let you know that was all not true. Yeah, you didn't.
I'm sorry?
Oh, no, you remember how we convinced you that you knocked over that 7-Eleven?
No, I did.
You went on that high-speed chase.
I was just a desperate kid, man. I didn't know any better. I feel so awful.
Right, well, none of that happened.
I hurt that poor woman. What?
None of that happened.
No, I remember her face.
Right, no,
I remember her just begging for her life, and I shot her, man. I shot her, and I just
that was
feel
all,
so...
that was lies. You didn't shoot her.
But
She's
I remember
fine.
it.
Her name's Alice. We just took some pictures of her. She's fine. She's an assistant in our office. She's fine. Alice is fine. In fact, she brought in a lovely gift basket, and I brought it here with. Here you go. She apologized. This is a picture of her fine.
No!
Oh, you got to calm down, buddy.
Oh God! Why did I do it, Alice?
No, she's fine. I'm telling you, she was meant to come down here today, but
But she's afraid of me because of who I am and what I did to her.
No, honestly, this is all lies. You're part of a study. We implanted that memory in your brain.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure I remember that though.
No, we are very good at what we do. We were successful. In fact, you don't even live here. This isn't your house. In fact, I need you to get into this minivan. We're gonna drive you back to your apartment. You don't live here. You don't own this place. You can't afford this.
Okay.
You were staying here for the last couple of weeks. We planted evidence all around this house of your crimes.
Wait.
And,
Oh, I remember. My house is real shitty.
yes, really, really shitty.
Oh.
And you're 3 months due on rent. You've been staying here for 3 months and haven't been paying rent. In fact,
You
I
didn't
have
let
some
me
mail.
pay my rent?
We didn't pay your rent. No. Oh God, no. We wouldn't do that.
Oh.
Here's your mail. We brought some mail from your old place over here. I've been, like I said, meant to come by last Thursday.
How much is my rent?
$4,800 cumulative. It's been past due for several. Whoop! Hey, what do you?
Give me $4,800.
This is not who you are. You're not a
No,
guy.
that's who I am now. And I need $4,800. Also, I'm taking the van.
Oh God.
And I'm taking the gift basket.
Well, the gift basket was already yours.
Yeah. That's right.
Okay.
Give me $27 for another gift basket. I need $4,827.
Okay. Anything you say. This really isn't the kind of person you are. I just want you to know that. Do you remember?
That's what you sound like.
Shut
up.
Do you remember that time that I was very nice to you? And
wait, what?
Do you remember when I paid your rent for 3 months and gave you that minivan? Do you remember that time? Remember that time I gave you that gift basket that had a nice picture of Alice in it?
Oh,
remember
yeah.
that? It already happened. Remember? I gave it to you already.
Oh, hey, Doc.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, my gosh.
I'll be going now.
Yeah, okay. Well, it was great seeing you.
Okay, see you later.
Thanks for coming by my house.
Yeah.
How do you remove that memory from somebody? Once you give it to them, can you just take it away?
That's fucked.
That's fucked up,
That's
man.
fucked up.
Because now I think I committed assault with a deadly weapon. I think that's who I am now.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
I know.
What about those kids who were like, oh, you remember that time you got lost in the mall? Now I remember my mom as some irresponsible mother who got me lost in a mall.
That Thanksgiving is not going to be pleasant.
No, it's just fuck you for letting me get lost in that mall.
I don't remember ever doing that.
We never even lived near a mall.
There was no mall. There was a series of shops connected by a hallway, but there was no mall.
It's like a mini mall.
That's at most.
Kind of like a mini mall. Well, I got lost in it thanks to you.
Oh, it was so small. How could you get lost?
I was small. I was a child.
There was literally an optometry place and a Rite Aid. That was all there was.
Yeah. So I mean, that's kind of irresponsible.
Do they, when they sign up for this? I mean, what are they signing up for? Do they know what they're signing up for? They can't, right? Or else that would ruin the. They're like signing up for,
I'm sure they're told that they signed up for something else.
Exactly.
And then something else happened. I'm sure they're just told the whole thing never happened,
Right.
and that they are actually killers.
Man,
That's what I would do if I was a scientist. Instead of dealing with implanting those memories and how I'm gonna like integrate that person back into life and like help them not like get a fractured sense of identity, I would just continue to fuck with them until they left me alone.
It's right. That's what you would have to do.
That's what I would have to do. I'd have to be like, no, you never took this study. I don't know who you are. Get out of here, crazy
You know what I
person.
read? I read that 38% of the people in United States penitentiaries are just the result of scientists fucking with people. I read that. Those people are just living out their sentences.
Just normal people.
Just average Joes
with
who never
implanted
did a thing
memories.
wrong. Scientists are the real scourge of this country.
God bless them. I wish they were. I wish it was evil scientists. I wish there were just as many evil scientists as we believe there were.
They published their findings, but
you go in for this study, and then like, as soon as they get you to confess to this crime, they just drop you off at the local circuit court. Just like batch of criminals, and then you don't even have to pay them the $30 for participating in the study.
That's right.
You pocket $120. They think you're doing a civic duty.
It's a racket. You get a kickback from the cops.
What does that scientist do? I don't know. So he's inventing some sort of radical technology that allows him to capture criminals.
Yes.
It's like one of those. It's like a primetime TV show or something.
That's what it is. It's Science Cop, and he's like,
that's what he tells them.
He says, "Yes, I've discovered." He's telling him he's a precog.
I just have a computer that predicts where criminals are going to be.
Yeah.
And then what I have to do is go and use my keen scientific senses of observation to pick out who the criminal is in the crowd. And let me tell you something. Works 100% of the time.
100% of the time.
Here's another van full of these criminals.
100% confession rate.
100%. Non-coercion.
That's right. None of them. They just come into your office and they confess. Science.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Commissioner. And then then he shoots a science grappling hook and just swings out of the office.
Science grappling hook.
Yeah, it's different than a regular grappling hook.
It is. It works on science.
Oh man, I mean, I guess we learn a lot about the human mind from these studies, but I want the story of what happens after and how they return that person to normal. That's all. How do you guys feel about studies like this? How do you feel about your own memory, and how do you feel about what they do to other people's memories to get these things done?
Do you have anything that you remember but you're not sure it's real? Because I have stuff like that where I remember it, but I'm not so sure it really happened.
So what we want you to do, go to iTunes.
Yes.
Go to We Have Concerns on iTunes.
Yes.
Leave a review. Leave a 5-star review. Don't review the show.
God, no.
God, no. Never review the show. What we want you to do is leave a memory that you're not sure actually happened.
Right. Maybe you didn't even listen to this show, but you want to give it 5 stars anyway.
You remember the time that you listened to the show and you really loved it and you want to go to iTunes and give it 5 stars? You should do that.
Act on that.